How do you know if your biomechanics are truly optimized? Let's take a look. In the physiology world, we say that one of the easiest ways and one of the quickest ways to test somebody's biomechanics is to have them do their sport-specific activity quickly. I'll use running, for example. If you want to see how efficient somebody can run, take their shoes off, take them to a football field or a soccer field, and have them run extremely quick. Take them to a nice hill, maybe 1 or 2% grade, and have them run downhill quickly, with or without shoes. And you'll be able to identify through film how well somebody's biomechanics are developing as an athlete. Now, regardless of the sport that you may be involved in, stop and think about what we just described from a physiological standpoint. I don't know anybody who, this is a double negative, I don't know anybody who doesn't want to be faster. I don't know anybody who doesn't want to have better endurance. But this is where we have to make sure that we don't step out of line in regards to the development and the process of improved biomechanics. I've put out previous videos about the specificity associated with each element of your sport of choice. Now stop and think about this. What would increase your biomechanics? What would increase the quality of your biomechanics? You have to be sport-specific strong, and you have to have sport-specific flexibility and range of motion. Not a new concept if you followed me for any period of time. But what I want to elevate here in today's conversation is the question of, Rob, how do I validate that my biomechanics are getting better? Well, stop and think about the word speed and endurance. The perfect combination is you're not only fast, but you can maintain that speed for an extended period of time. I refer to this with my clients, the difference between critical speed and threshold of fatigue. How fast can you go, and how long can you maintain it before you start to physiologically break down, i.e. go slower. Now, when we're looking at optimizing biomechanics, over here, you have to be both sport-specific strong and have sport-specific flexibility and range of motion. On this side, how do you evaluate if somebody's biomechanics are getting better? Well, how well can they go fast for an extended period of time, and how does that compare to the last time you did an assessment? With my clients, we test every 6 to 8 weeks. We're validating max heart rate numbers. We're making sure that we're training with the most accurate data we possibly can. Now take that a step further. How do I create confidence in an individual? It's not about me just being, hey, you're a good person, patting them on the back and then saying, let's go back out and start training. It's always going to be about quantifying the improvement. Literally measuring incremental improvement is where an athlete will have a better understanding of whether or not their biomechanics, strength, flexibility, specific to sport, are getting better. And then how long can you implement those biomechanics in the way of speed before you become tired? So if I take something, let's take motocross, for example. If you're running a 2-minute lap time and you used to only be able to maintain a 2-minute lap time for 3 laps, well, 2 times 3 is 6 minutes. That's the point that you're starting to fatigue. Our goal would be that you can hold the consistency of the lap time relevant to the track's conditions from 6 minutes to maybe 7 minutes to 8 minutes to eventually 30 minutes. Now, what becomes very interesting and, in my opinion, enjoyable as a physiologist is once I can get that 2-minute lap time up to 30 minutes of duration, then what I want to do is see if I can increase the speed, recognizing that we might only be able to maintain it for 5 to 6 minutes. You make sure that that's where the consistency comes in. Look at the consistency of your lap times and how long can you maintain that 159, that 158 before you start to fall off the pace. Multiply it out, and that's your threshold, and that's how you can measure whether or not your biomechanics have gotten better. You can do this with swimming. If you're doing it on a per 100 basis, let's say that you're holding a 130 100 in the freestyle swim. How many 100 repeats can you do with 15 seconds rest before you start falling off the pace, 31s, 32s? And then start working on being able to hold those 130s until you can maybe do 8, possibly even 10, whatever, depending on what you're training for. Then your goal would be to try to pull that 130 down to a 129 or a 128, then be able to hold 4, 5, 6, 8 of those, and pull it back down to a 27 and do it all over again. Running, if you're holding a 90-second quarter, How many of those can you do before you start holding 92s and 93s? See how many you can get up to 8 or 10 of those. Then see if you can try to go out and run 89s or 88s, and how many of those can you consecutively put together. Now, with everything that I've just discussed, what it boils down to is optimizing biomechanics is a byproduct of strength and flexibility. Now what we want to do is be able to measure it to build confidence in an athlete. So biomechanics becomes a very powerful tool when it comes to not only increasing someone's speed and endurance, which we all need and want, but also building an athlete's confidence simultaneously. I hope that's made plenty of sense. If for whatever reason maybe I created more questions than I answered, please do me a favor and send me an email. contact@coachrobb.com. I love being able to interact with you guys. I like to get back to you via email, and we'll probably archive it and put it into the folder of questions like this one here today. If you're new to the Coach Robb channel, thank you so much for joining us. We do put out a video every day here on YouTube, so we hope that you'll subscribe. We hope that you'll like this video, and please turn on the notifications so that you'll know when we put our next video out tomorrow. Thanks again for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.